my dad always said to me that he wouldn't have invested this much time or money if, mind my language, I was a shit driver.
But do you think there's like a reason why, like as you were saying, like people might not want to invest?
I think it just comes down to that they just don't understand motorsport, that it's always being a stereotype. Football, cricket, they're the main sort of sports everyone wants to get involved in. But when it comes to racing, people don't seem to understand what the long-term benefits are, and the history that I could make while doing this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rohan Plus One show. For episode 9, my plus one wants to become the first Sikh Formula One driver. Introducing Ceran Singh Sokhi.
Hi, Rohan. Thank you for having me, and hello to Rohan's audience. And yeah, just looking forward to telling you guys about journey so far.
Yep, thank you for coming on the show.
No worries.
Let's get started. So, as I mentioned, you want to become the first Sikh Formula One driver. But where did that kind of all begin?
Well, it started off when I was around 10, 11 years old. That before racing even became a thing to this day, my parents tried to get me into other sports like football, rugby, tennis, cricket, karate, taekwondo, the lot. But I would only like it up until a certain point where I'll be like enjoying it for the first month, second month, I'll be like, okay, yeah, it's all right. Then third month, I'll go to my parents and be, yeah, I'm bored. I don't know what else to do. And it got to a conversation that I've heard from downstairs where mum and dad were saying, what can this kid like? We've tried everything we could and he just doesn't like it. It only started up until we went on to, went to a family holiday on Cyprus and sat in a go-kart, never looked back since. And it was when mum and dad realised that, Ceran's going to be an expensive child, but we're not going to stop him from what he loves doing. And just accelerated. A year later, got my own go-kart that we had in the garage, maintained it. I would come back from school and help dad work on it as well. And I just progressed now onto UK F3, which I'm where I'm at now.
Oh, nice. So like during like that time as a kid, like what was it like being in that that go-kart? Was it like was it really fun? Like when you went in,
Well, it started off when we started like professionally. It started off me just doing figures of 8 in a car park, just to see what it was like.
Yeah.
And it was just I just kept going round and round and round, and just to see my parents happy. That obviously from them seeing their kid being happy, and I just didn't want to stop. And this one I was like, when my parents decided to go, we can't say no to this now, as he's found his like sport that he loves doing. So first I'm gonna go kart. I'll always remember it. There's just the speed, the adrenaline, going into corners at high speeds, and obviously overtaking, which is the best part. But it was just very like words can't describe it until I'd say someone actually sits in the go kart and feels it. So it's just undescribable feeling.
Yeah, and how long have you been training now?
Training wise, well, my proper training started when I was about 18, 19, when I could actually do more stuff, when I was like do more physical weights, cardio, etc. When I was 13, 14, couldn't do as much, but now I've stepped it up another level where I've now got a personal trainer who's helping me with a diet plan, proper training plan, and it is having its effect. So that's been in full swing for about a month or two now. And well, I just got back from Silverstone a couple of days ago, and I hadn't driven the car, well, a proper racing car, for a year and a half. So training was quite intense, but I showed my worth. So I'm going to obviously from testing. Tuesday it was all dry, and not gonna lie, first session was quite nerve wracking. Where I actually went to mum and said, my nerves are skyrocketing right now. But as soon as I got into the car and I felt what the car was doing, feeling it, like the aero coming into play, when the car squats, when the car pitches, when braking. And then, I was just shaving off the seconds and ended up being within 2-3 seconds of guys who had 3+ years of experience. And then the next day was wet, and my last wet test session was my actual first ever time in the car, which was 4 years ago. And yeah, I was just shaving off the times again and showing my worth to the team. The team didn't stop smiling at me throughout those 2 days, and ended up being 2 to 3 seconds within them in the wet. So yeah, just trying to, get investment, get sponsors on board, and well, hopefully this kind of proves that, their investment into a driver like myself is going to be worthwhile. I'm not, I guess, the type of driver that just goes in it and just drives. I actually do think about what the car is doing. I do feel when the tires are in their peak condition and when they start to go off throughout the session. So yeah, just showing that my commitment to racing is like my top priority, as well as just obviously mental health, physical health, obviously family and etc. But family's all part of the racing side. So yeah, just wanting to get my name out there as well, to people to get to know my name and just get to know what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah, no, I get that. And once you're in that race car, what's your mindset? Like once you're in that car.
So as soon as the helmet goes on, a complete different character appears. So it pretty much starts from when I first enter the track. I'm already getting into it. I'm looking at the corners, already visualizing how to take the corners, what gears I should be in, what I should be doing. But then as soon as I get strapped into the car, then even my parents have seen it. I don't answer to anyone. It's just that it's not me being, I don't want to talk to anyone. It's just the mentality of me focusing about what I'm about to do, as giving an insight to a racing driver. Your mind's got to be clear, even if there's like self-doubt, emotions, feelings, it all will come into effect. So like I said, from session 1 on Tuesday, my nerves were actually starting to overcome it. But as soon as I got to the feel of the car, that feeling of having no fear started to come in. So that's when I just started to shave off the seconds. It's like my parents do try and talk to me, but they realize that they can't get into me because I'm just focusing on the task at hand. And they find it's just fascinating that when I'm in the car, it's just no one else but me in that moment. So as soon as the car flicks on, when I flick the switches, then I hear the engine, my eyes close, visualize. Then it's just down to me, as it's no one else that can help me, just myself.
Yeah, no. And how fast can you is it quite tough when you're in that car, controlling, the speed and all of that as well?
Because of my physical training and as well as my diet plan as well, it all helped. So my focus is at maximum as it can get, and me just thinking on the ball, like, right, I got to take this corner at this gear, got to aim it at this particular corner. If it's a late apex, which means to viewers who don't know absolutely nothing about racing, a late apex is a corner. So let's say I'm going on a left-hander, there's 1 apex, 2 and 3. But depending how sharp or wide the corner is, if it's a wide corner, it'll be a late apex to make it to the next corner or the main straight. Okay. So it depends what the tracks are, what they are. But physically and mentally, especially on those 2 test days, wasn't drained, wasn't fatigued or anything. I even got, so on my neck harness that, pretty much protects my neck, I got gel pads because I got quite a skinny collarbone. So the foam pads used to press on my collarbone quite a bit. And even though it didn't affect me previously, it was always that ongoing pain, which it wouldn't affect my driving, but it would just be that feeling of going to a corner. I'm like, okay, I'm in a bit of pain. As soon as I start thinking about other things, I've already lost time mentally. So it's a lot of psychology that goes on behind it. So with these gel pads, it's the most comfortable I've ever sat in the car. So I wasn't really thinking about anything else. So everything, diet, training, reaction times, all comes into play. And it's probably one of the 2 best test days I've actually ever done. The way to describe it, which I said to my parents or the team principal, I said there was those 2 days I didn't want them to end because I was just moving forward every single session. And I felt great. I felt fresh. Wasn't mum, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So everything that I built up to that particular moment all helped.
Yeah, and I guess that's what you want out of the test, right? You want to come out of it thinking, yeah, like I've done well, right?
Yeah, like when I found out that I was 2 to 3 seconds in the dry and the wet off these top runners who have had 2, 3 years of experience, and for a guy literally who hasn't been in the car for a year and a half, and it was an older spec car, it was a feeling that you got to be there to witness it. As like my dad always said to me that he wouldn't have invested this much time or money if my language, I was a shit driver. But the fact that I can drive, and it was a reminder to myself that, okay, yeah, Ceran, you can actually drive this car. It was boosting morality, but still feet were grounded on the floor. And the fact that I've got family backing me on it, and I've saved up myself, like through jobs and etc., through uni, college, to get to where I am now. It's been a hard journey so far, but it's still the beginning.
Yeah.
So these 4 or 5 years of F3 here and there when we can, it still hasn't scraped the surface of it. Yeah.
And I guess, you know, along this journey, you know, like you've got the support as well, right?
Yeah, mainly it's my family that have got my support and a few of my close friends. But what we're trying to get the message is that when people say, oh, you've got to be in the car, we're trying to explain we need the funds to get in the car. So we can't get in the car if we haven't got the funds for it. But when we do get in it, I show my worth, but people somehow still don't understand the concept is we need like investment from people for me to race. And like, you know, I was part of the McLaren Academy 10 years ago, but because we didn't have the funds and I did exceptionally well compared to other drivers there, they wanted me back for another year, which could have led me to their development program, which probably, thinking about it now, would have escalated my career drastically. But because we didn't have the funds for it, we couldn't do it. But, you know, now I'm back with them as a full-time job because I graduated from uni. Now just networking slowly because it's a very delicate position, but I'm slowly getting there. But yeah, we're just emphasizing that we need investment. And from these 2 test days that I've done, which showed my abilities as a driver, your investment will see me potentially be a top runner from day one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not being cocky, but from that test, and when I'm out in the car more, I will go faster. So that's what we're trying to emphasize, you know?
But do you think there's like a reason why, like as you were saying, like people might not want to invest? Is there like, do you think there's any reason behind that, or just?
I think it just comes down to that they just don't understand motorsport. That it's always being a stereotype. Football, cricket, they're the main sort of sports everyone wants to get involved in. But when it comes to racing, people don't seem to understand what the long-term benefits are, and the history that I could make while doing this, like being the first Sikh to race in Formula One, yet alone be, you know, world champion. The amount of opportunities that's going to occur from the future is, let's just say, you know, I signed with McLaren, give or take, or it could be Ferrari,
Yeah.
or Mercedes, Red Bull, whatever. But the opportunities that's going to bring is it could lead me to be like opening my own like karting academy where I would have my own go-karts and bringing little kids up to help them or basically be their manager just to get them in there. Endless opportunities as well, you know, traveling worldwide, more networking is the message I'm trying to get across is even though they're investing money, they're still going to make money in the long term. So let's just say, for instance, I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm on 40 million a year with Red Bull, for instance. And if they want, okay, we want 10% of that, they can. So they're already making a return on their investment. But they just got to, in a way, take the gamble, which most things are nowadays, to then make it worthwhile. And my testing is a fact that their investment will be worthwhile. I just need more time in the car.
Yeah.
But from how my driving is, I can half the time so they can see results a lot more faster.
Okay, yeah. So it's just finding that like promotion, like sponsorship, right?
Yeah, I just need a breakthrough.
Yeah.
That's all I need. Once the breakthrough is there, then they'll see me perform. That's all I need.
Yeah. And I guess once you like doing it more and I guess putting it out there more, then potentially there might be someone that.
Yeah. So let's just say, for instance, if I'd done a 3-day test day and they were all dry, the team principal said to my face as a driver that you would be within a second, nearing tenths of a second with these drivers. That's how much the team saw and how much I developed as a driver. And I can't lie about that.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult game, but we've been in it for so long and we've learned from different people about it. But we just learned to never give up on something that I want to achieve, that can make history, as well as the opportunities that's going to happen in the long term. The higher I go up, the more they're going to get.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, as you're saying, like, never give up. But what keeps you, going? What's kept you going along this journey?
It's solely that I want it that badly that I'll do anything for it. But it's also that I've got the support mainly from my family. They're the ones that from day one have backed me up. Like, friends come and go whenever they please. But the few friends that have actually stuck with me, like a few shout outs here to them. Like my mate Ty in Spain, 10 years, never met the guy, but I've met him through gaming in the most weirdest way. But he's been there supporting me. Got a couple of three uni mates of mine that want to, know if I'm doing well, if I'm still going. But yeah, it's mainly down to mentality, which I admit 5 years ago, I wasn't as mentally strong as I am now. And it's the fact that rejections are going to happen. And we've had many of those in the past. And I've just learned to just brush it off as it's not the end of the world. As in racing, that rejections happen more than positives, but those positives are the ones that will drastically move forward. So yeah, it's just coming down to mentality and how you take things.
And I guess because you want to become, like the first, like make history. I guess that's kind of a motivating factor as well, right?
Oh yeah, it is. Like it was all thanks to my dad. Really, he goes when you go out for testing or whatnot, have Singh in it as it's gonna strike. And from what I know about Sikh history a little bit, is like if there's thousands of people, and and there's a Singh there, that one Singh will stand out to everyone else. So that's what I'm trying to do, but in racing. And fortunately for me is that I can drive and I can confidently say that I'll do it in half the time. I just need the funds to get in the car more often and just hit the ground running.
No, I get that. And like let's talk about, your training.
Yes.
So how many times would you train in the car?
So training for racing wise, 4 or 5 times a week, maximum an hour and a half in the gym. Going into a little bit of detail, burning about 1,000 to 1,500 calories a day, plus work, which I move about quite a lot anyway, so call it 2,000 calories a day. So what I eat during the day gets burned off within ease. But like the training I do, let's say for my neck, is I would use, well, what I'm doing now is I use 2 15-kilo discs, put them on my head and just move my neck up and down, which I get a lot of looks at the gym because they're thinking, what's this guy doing with his neck? But when they see my neck expand because of the muscles, I get looks at the gym like, right, I see what you're trying to do. I'm like, yeah.
That's why.
But then again, that I'm used to people giving me the most oddest looks because I've gone to a point where I just don't care what people think of me. Yeah. Either like me or hate me, or if you want to get to know me, know me. If you don't, you know where the door is. Yeah. So like for a guy, I guess who's at 22 and in this stage, well, 23 next week. But I've just learned that I got to fight for myself and I've got to believe in myself to believe that I can get it. So yeah, so indirectly, people can say what they want to say. You won't make it. You won't do this. You won't do that. And I just go, watch me.
Yeah.
So when people saw me in the car 2-3 days ago, I already got people that used to know me from school that gave me a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Now they're starting to reappear, think, oh yeah, like, do you remember us, this and that? I was like, I remember that you low-key gave me so much crap, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter now. So it's a tough game, and it did take me a while to get to this stage of just like being okay with just myself
Yeah.
and family. So yeah, that's it.
And so your training, like how do you think? Because there's all these different sports. How do you think your training for a driver would be different for like another athlete? Because I guess in the car it would be like a complete different like skills you would need, right?
Yeah. So let's say I want to be the most biggest difference. Bodybuilding to a racing driver. Bodybuilding, protein 24/7. I don't know, a kilo of protein a day. It's probably not correct, but
Yeah.
protein shakes,
Lots, yeah.
post-protein shakes, just eating whole chickens for dinner. I'm like, I can't do that. Like in the gym, so like they lift 200
Yeah.
200 kilo deadlifts or 500 kilo deadlifts. Doing pull-ups where they're pulling themselves till they hit the ceiling. 50 kilo like dumbbells.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Not because I don't want to, but what I'm trying to do is build everything. So a day workout for me, literally the most simplest one, is I walk on a treadmill with 7 kilo dumbbells and I do incline. So what it does, it puts pressure all on my shoulders, arms, forearms, legs. It's basically replicating the feeling of when I'm being strapped into the car. Because when I get strapped into the car, all the pressure builds on here, and all I'm doing is literally just moving my arms. I physically can't move. I'm stuck in a way. Doing skipping, endurance training. Then I do minimal weight training, but all of it, let's say I do deadlifts to a degree. So I do about, I think, 40, 50 kilo deadlifts, but I know I can do more. But one, don't want to do injuries. And two is that I don't want to become too bulky where weight becomes a problem. So being 6 foot, near enough 6'3", I'm about 78, 77 kilos, which is relatively light for someone who's, I admit, I'm quite heavy boned. So I'm doing what I can with what I've got. But to be about 3-4 kilos shy of what I need to be isn't bad. But with these cars that I'm driving and how they set up the cars, I can get away with it, as in like go-karts, a kilo is about a tenth of a second. And if you're doing a 15 lap race, 1.5 seconds gone
That can make the difference.
over that race. So the feeling of being overweight in karting and then being 0.1 of a gram off the minimum weight. We've been there, but I'm trying to keep as light as I physically can, obviously without going to the extreme side.
Yeah, so like when you're in the before racing, is there kind of a weight like boundary where you kind of is there like the minimum and the maximum?
Yeah, so what got told was in like this year's car is 605 kilos with me and the car and whatever fuel load they put in. So when I come in and I told them what my weight was, they said, okay, you're about 3-4 kilos over, but for someone who's at your height is quite good. Like to be 6'3" and be under 80, it does come quite a shock to a lot of people as they think, oh, like, I bet you're like 85 or 90. I go, no, I'm about 78, 77. They go, how? And they think I go to like extreme side, but I go, I'm on like intermittent fasting, which I'm used to, and it's helping me shred off my weight just because I'm tall. And being tall in racing is a disadvantage, but examples I can give, Nico Hulkenberg, Mark Webber, they were 6'3", bit skinnier than me, but they still managed to drive. So why can't I?
And I guess when you're taller, do you have the when you put your legs in, is that quite a bit of a stretch as well in the car?
In the old car, yes, because my knees would actually touch the chassis on the inside. So when I would be kind of in this sort of position, so my feet would be up here, my knees would. These are my knees.
Oh, okay.
They would touch the inside of the car, and my feet would always touch the actual frame of the car. But on this car that I drove, because they're slightly longer, I don't have that problem, and I sit quite low as well, because I don't want my head to be above a certain point of the car. But yeah, I try and sit as low as I can, but I'm just used to it now. And it's not becoming that much of an issue now.
Yeah, and you know how you're saying you train 4 to 5 times a week, right?
Yeah.
And you're working. Like, how do you manage your time? Because you're pretty much busy like every day. Right?
I'm busy 24/7, literally. So like, because of my job now, it's like shifts, so I can get away with things. So let's say from next week, I'm on 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. and I go gym afterwards. It's about half 3, 4 o'clock. Then I'm always doing something at home or I'm just relaxing. Then yeah, so I do fit in quite a bit, and then I'm mainly just networking with people as much as I can, emails, whatnot, like talking to one of my managers as well that I've got. So I'm building my little team slowly, but it's a small step in the right direction.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I guess when you're on this journey, you know, that you need to invest a lot of time into it, right? Like,
Yes.
I guess you know you can't be going like places where like other people would like, for instance, like going out clubbing and like doing all the
No.
social stuff. Like, I would be like do all the hard work now and then enjoy like later, right?
Oh yeah, like when I see people like going out partying and having fun, I go, all right, cool. You guys do what you want to do, no judgment. But the way I see it is that I want to put, like you said, I want to put all the effort in now. So then when all the good things start to come later on, I can be like, okay, I've worked hard to get to this point. I can actually do what they want to do. But knowing me, I probably won't even do that anyways.
Yeah.
I'll probably, touch wood, chill at like my dream house that I want to have, partner, kids, whatnot. So it's actually kind of funny. My mum always keeps reminding me of this. So when I was in school, a bit off topic, I wrote down on a piece of paper, and it said on a piece of paper that this when I was like 8. This is kind of sound embarrassing, but yeah, but mum still wants it to be true, and I still do too. So it was a drawing, and I wrote on it that one day I want to drop my kids off in a helicopter.
Wow.
And that took mum out of the ordinary because she didn't expect that out of me. But I still want to make it a reality. Like, even though it's going to be way over the top. But I'm like, but in that position, but it's cool though.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that going to school
In the
and just see a helicopter in the playground?
It's like a Bollywood film.
Yeah, no, yeah, but not over dramatized or anything like that.
No.
Nah, just something small, like,
Yeah.
or it's stuff like that which gets me excited because I'm like, it can be done. Just need to put in the effort now rather than later to make it happen.
Yeah. And I guess like even like money wise as well, like you can't be spending like
No.
everything.
No, like I've been lectured a lot about from my dad. Save your money, which I am. Like, I've been through the bit where I've been like, Dad, okay, I'm a bit stuck. That was through uni
Yeah.
and that, but then things were just different back then as well. But now I'm managing funds wise as well. So a bit of funds wherever I can save goes to racing, or just Dad just tells me like, save up, save up as much as you can. Like, rent out a flat, or maybe buy one and then rent it out early rather than later. So just got to start somewhere. So I'm very, I guess, work orientated, but I know good will come out of it. It's just trusting the process and just never giving up. Like, people might say, oh yeah, like, you don't party, you don't come out, you don't do this and that. I'm like, it may sound lame to you guys, but I wish I could tell you what I'm working on, but I'm not going to. But even though I've literally said what I'm trying to do anyways.
Yeah.
But they don't know what's basically behind the door.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like people might start like judging you and be like, "Oh, why are you not coming out?" And it's just remembering, because if everything goes well, that all that like sacrifice, that hard work, that dedication is worth it, and it will be. It will pay off.
Yeah, I believe so. It's just, a matter of time until that happens. And when people do say like, like you don't come out, I'm like, one, I'm too tired. Like, I just want my own peace of mind. And two, big advice from me: smaller circle, less drama. The drama I want to deal with is my own.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal, no offense, to other people's dramas, which then becomes my problem. I'd rather deal with my own problems, which I can fix, rather than be like, right, this person's upset now. I gotta try and do this and that. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to. Not saying anything bad. Also, if potential partner turns up, then obviously
Different story. Yeah.
different story, different dilemma, different drama and whatnot. But
Yeah. Worry about it then.
yeah, a future Ceran problem.
Yeah. Not now. Like now,
No.
now it's all the grind, the hard work.
Yeah, grind, hard work, and if comes into it, if the right person comes along, happy days. If
Yeah.
not,
It,
eventually.
yeah, exactly.
Eventually.
That's it. You know what your main goal is, right?
Yeah.
And like talking about, like the main goal. Have you made like any like tough decisions or like sacrifices along the way so far?
It's mainly, I can't say like sacrifices wise as well. I mean, obviously, for me personally, ditching a lot of my friends that started to become negative was a sacrifice for me, as I was an outgoing, wanna go out sort of person, and I still am, but I just wanted to be with the right people.
Yeah.
I don't want to go out just for the sake of going out. Like going for uni, I was going out a lot, but it was for the sake of it, so I wasn't enjoying it. Like it's when I started to realize, okay, I actually enjoy my own company, as sad as it sounds.
Yeah.
but that's reality in a nutshell. But yeah, and mainly his parents sacrifice that they've put stuff that they want to do on hold just so I can progress forward, because they know how much I want it and they can see how much work I'm doing with what I can do to make it. So a lot of time, a lot of investment, a lot of money that they could have saved went into me because they believe that I can do it. And yeah, that's all I can say really. Just
Yeah, and it's finding that right support circle, right? Like people are gonna hate regardless, all right, whether it's your friends, family, or just people on social media. But it's like not letting that get to you, right?
No.
And it's like, because people might hate at the beginning, but then after you've made it, then they're gonna want to become your friend. But it's like, why are you hating then? And then when you made it, you want to be my friend now. But
yeah, it's like I've had a bit of that already so far, and I'm just still testing. So it's already beginning, even though I haven't even got anywhere yet. So I've had people, they're saying, you won't make it, won't do this, won't do that. But as soon as they see me in the car, they go, oh, okay.
Actually,
yeah, remember that? I've had it already that they've all said, remember that one time? I go, no, no, I don't actually. No, school doesn't really count till now. But yeah, hate is minor to me. Is just I just don't really care anymore.
And that's the way it should be, right?
Yeah, because I'm not gonna let the hate or whatever people are saying that I don't know of get to my head.
Exactly.
Because they're not the ones that are helping me get to where I want. In a way, that negativity is making me stronger. So in a way, thanks to them, I'm getting more stronger, which indirectly will piss them off even more. So I just go, all right, just keep going, keep doing it. It's just going to help me more. But before, like, I used to take negative and be like, oh no, okay, yeah, I'm not going to make it, not going to do that. But minor.
Yeah,
minor
you've
now.
overcome that now, right? Like,
oh yeah. Like as soon as I started to be okay with me being smaller circle, just having family.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Exactly. And, talking about, how you wanted to become like, first seat driver, do you think, there's that lack of, representation in like race motorsports, especially?
Motorsport, yeah, there is a lot that I can say, but to just keep it simple, like there's 2 drivers that are in F2 already. There's Jahan Daruvula, Indian, and there's Kush Maini, who's also Indian. They're making it, but they obviously got carrying the Indian flag, which is obviously wicked to see. But because I'm trying to target a different audience and a different part of, like I say, summarization of Indian, the summarization of it, where I'm trying to target an audience where it's, well, from our history, very, very powerful. I'm just trying to get them on board, but because they don't understand it fully, then they just think it's just that.
Yeah.
Fine. So I'm trying to break through, and there are little kids coming up there, like through go-karting, which is nice to see. They're following me on Instagram as well, which is nice. Little 8-year-olds, parent managed accounts. Like, it's great to see you in the car. Like, it's boosted like my son, my daughter's like morality. I'm like, wow, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
But those things count, and I feel like that when I get to that stage where I can help others, then I'll help them, because I'd want to help the younger ones coming up, because it's going to be very powerful. Like, touch wood, that I make it, and I want to make it, because I've got nothing else that I want to do apart from being a racing driver. it's what I want to do. Nothing else comes into account for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like you said, you've got these kids now, like looking up to you. Like you're gonna, if when you do this, like you're gonna become like a role model for kids, which
Yeah.
I think now in this generation is needed as well. We've had this whole like YouTuber influencer culture, and
Yeah,
I
my
guess
God.
I don't know if you can call them role models or not. That's a whole different topic. But
Yeah.
we need people like this, I think, for the younger generation to be like, look, you can go and chase your dreams. You can do what you want to do. You just need, the hard work and the
Yeah.
grind, and it'll be like a good role model for them.
I think like obviously with how YouTubers are coming up, obviously like I live on YouTube most of the time, but I'm more into like, the Sidemen, which I like grew up with, and when they started off from just doing literally what they did until, having having their own stores being opened, having, sides like the food menus and stuff, them traveling abroad. So they're an inspiration that I catched on to. Like, nowadays influencers, no offense, personally for me, I may sound old, but I think influencing potentially maybe for the wrong reasons, but I don't really watch the newer guys coming up. I'm with the guys that, 2010, 2012, YouTubers that started with smaller stuff, knew like what they wanted to achieve when they got there. But yeah, so influence and whatnot, keep doing what you're doing anyways.
Yeah.
But I've got my own
Yeah.
role model thing I want to try and get sorted out.
Exactly. Hopefully you can become,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
role model for,
Yeah.
future generations. But, like in our South Asian culture, like even in sports in general, do you think there's a particular reason why we don't get, or there isn't much representation in sports other than like obviously like cricket and other sports, but like just sports in general?
I think it's because this is the most stereotypical thing I'm probably going to say, but from what I've heard, like from other family members of my own, they say, this is again the stereotypical thing, be a doctor. The most thing I've heard 24/7 from every person I've talked to. Be a doctor, be a surgeon. I admit a wicked salary can be and could and can definitely could be, but they don't. I think they just don't understand what sport is. Like obviously, like you said, cricket, football, fine, but with representation in motorsport, people just don't understand it. They just think, oh, I can drive this car like what he's doing, but there's a lot more to it than just sitting in a car, even if it's a go-kart and drive. So I just don't think people understand, in a way, what it takes to be a driver. They may see it, when people watch F1 and think, oh yeah, he's doing this reaction timing. Oh, he's doing this skipping and whatnot. But they don't know fully what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I'm like giving insight to a driver that gym 4 or 5 times a week, trying to do meetings, emails, managers, everything. So I just don't think people understand what motorsport actually is. It's not just sitting in a Ferrari and just going around in a circle. It's not like that.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, like how you're saying, parent like want to become like a doctor, or and I guess to them, it will look good, telling them, oh, my kid's a doctor, my kid's a dentist, my kid is a cardiac surgeon. Like obviously in the whole community, it will look good.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you're not gonna be happy with yourself, are you? Like you want to do the things you want to do, and I think that kind of backwards mentality like needs to change now.
I think like nowadays, is from what I've noticed, is I'm not calling out these people or parents or anything, but I've just got to say that you got to listen to what your kid wants to do, not make them do it because of family history and whatnot. It's nothing bad, but the kid could be on a good salary, but it's not going to be an enjoyable salary that the kid wants. Be like, yeah, like, I'm a doctor, but it's not what I want to do. So it's a bit...
Yeah.
It's like a tricky topic to talk about, but from what I can say is, like my parents do it to me, is listen to what your kids want to do and back them up. Because what my parents do is like I said, my sister, she's a business event manager and some senior VP sort of role. I don't know exactly what it is, but like she's doing well, she's loving it. And when my parents decided to say, okay, you can do this, but gotta get the best out of it you can. So my sister's into business, got a master's degree and etc. She's killing it. I'm chasing it as well, but in a complete different sport and just job. But my parents are backing me because they know that I want to do it. And it kind of hurts when I say it sometimes, that my dad said to me once that if you want to stop, we'll stop. But that to me said, I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
But because they back so much and they know how badly I want it, and will do anything for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But I think also in sports, maybe like that safety factor also might come into play. Like, oh, is it safe? Like, what happens if they get hurt as well, right? Does that ever like play up in like your mind, or you just carry on?
I just carry on.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to racing, that if it happens, it happens. But obviously, mum and dad obviously worry a lot when I'm in the car, but they have that belief that, like, you know, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
They're not just sending me in the car and just be like, oh yeah, just let him go.
Yeah, just
You know,
do whatever.
Yeah, just do whatever. You know, if you fly off, it's fine. But no, that my parents know what I'm doing and how much I want to prove, not just to them but to myself, that I want to make it. And like I said, going back to the point is, they wouldn't have invested this much time and money if they didn't think or believe that I could drive. I've been called, sometimes I'm a bit of a crap driver, but that's because I overthink. So there was this funny scenario where it was in go-karts and we were quickest one day, but the next day we were the slowest. And I got quite pissed off being 13 years old. And the team we were with, the manager came over and he goes, just stop being a twat and just drive the cart. There's nothing wrong with it, it's you. And the thing about it then, 13-year-old me didn't like that. I was like, I don't like being called a twat. Went out and was second fastest and about 10th off the fastest guy. And dad never lived that moment down. He still calls me a twat nowadays, but because he knows it will work. It will snap me back into saying, just drive properly. Don't overdrive. Just don't do it. So that's how much he believes in me, that he calls me just a twat, because he knows that it will fix me up.
Yeah, and I guess it's little things like that that will give you that, like,
yeah,
oh yeah, I need to get it together.
Yeah. No, me, it's like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
In a way, I'll be like, I don't like that. Fine, I'll drive properly then. I
Yeah.
come back like, is that better now? He goes, see, if it worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
I go, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it gets you pumped. It gets you like, I gotta do it
It's
now.
like, no, I gotta do it now, innit?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and you've also bought something, right? Today?
yes, I brought one of my 3 helmets along. It's the most recent one, and I actually used it on Tuesday and Wednesday. So welcome to shiny, very shiny, chromy. I call it Chrome Dome helmet.
And you've got your name and
Name, branding. Well, going through a rebrand at the moment. But yeah, it's relatively light. As well. You can hold it if you want.
Wow, guys, this is like, yeah, it's not too heavy actually. Like,
No.
no, it's big. It's really big though. Like
Yeah,
close up.
You got a big head.
But like in terms of like the equipment and stuff, is it expensive? Is it quite costly?
Don't get me into that.
Oh no.
So this helmet in particular, so it's a carbon fiber helmet, so it's relatively light. This one cost almost about 1,300 quid alone.
Just for the helmet.
Yeah, just for the helmet. And the paint job, I'm probably gonna cry. It's about five grand.
Wow, but it is very clean. Like it is very like wicked. That
Yeah, I mean
the design is top notch.
a bit dirty on the. Well, I'm gonna try and point it from here, but that's just from usage of it. But most of the time, helmets are all shiny.
Yeah.
And it's bad, and mum and dad probably want to shoot me for this, but I'm already thinking of my next one.
Already? How long have you had this one for?
I've literally had it for like 2 months.
And you already think,
Yeah, it's a racing driver thing, I swear. Because drivers can have helmets whenever they come and please.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm already thinking about the next one.
Do you want to have your own collection of helmets?
It's already started.
Yeah.
I've got like 2 karting helmets, which I've got. This is one of my main helmets. I've got another one at home. 2 of them at home. It's just gonna keep building up and up and up. Like, I want it to get to a point where I just have a glass case full of helmets from each year. and just have them on show.
Yeah, like how people have like their sneakers in boxes. You'll just have the whole
Don't get me
collection.
started on, don't get me started on trainers either.
You'll have your whole collection of helmets as well there.
Yeah, because everyone then's gonna go like, wow,
Yeah,
wow, look at this one, wow, look at this one. Ooh, I like this detail.
yeah, it's quite nice helmet actually. Like very wicked design.
Yeah, I've had that particular design for about 2 years,
Okay.
but I've finally got it done. But now I'm like, yeah, a new one now.
Nice. So, how good is your Formula One knowledge?
I would hope it's good. If it's not, I'm pretty sure Dad will probably shoot me.
So, we're gonna play a little quiz. So I've got some questions,
Oh no.
and we're gonna go through them. So when you're ready,
I'm not ready. I feel like at uni again, man. On my final exam, will I get a 2-1 or not?
So I've got 10 questions here with me, and we're gonna get started.
Oh no.
So question number 1:
God help me.
Who is the most successful Formula One driver of all time in terms of championships won? And there's two answers. I believe at this point where I got the question from, it's come up with 2 names.
2 names.
Yeah.
Right, I know one of them is Lewis Hamilton. He's got 7 titles. And Schumacher.
Yes. That's
Come
right.
on, let's
Yeah,
go. Let's go.
Exactly. That's number 1. See.
Let's go.
And
right.
they both have 7.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
So number 2, which F1 constructor holds the record for the most championships with a total of 16?
Red Bull.
No, I'll give you one. I'll give you one more.
Okay. Is it? No, because Red Bull got 16 consecutive wins. That's why. Is it Ferrari?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
See?
Okay.
You got yourself back up.
If I got that wrong, that would have literally murdered me. My God. Well, I got it wrong anyways,
If
but.
they're watching, they're gonna see how well you.
Oh, Jesus. God.
So.
That would have actually shot me. You just shot me. No, because Dad's a Ferrari fan, so
Oh.
he would have literally murdered
He
me.
would just.
You'll get like the slipper and whack me.
Oh no.
Whack me in the face, you know, like proper old school.
So, next one. Which F1 constructor is based in Silverstone and made their F1 debut in 2022?
Based in Silverstone.
Yep, and made their debut last year.
Oh. Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So you got these.
Yeah.
So, what is the name of the F1 car's protective structure, which is designed to protect the head in an accident?
Halo.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was quick as well.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
No, because on the car that I drove, it has a halo, and giving an insight to the halo, it doesn't affect the driver's vision. You actually completely ignore it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Fun fact.
What is the name of the device that's used to measure speed in the car?
Device. It's the speed thermometer or something.
Yeah, it's a speed something.
Speed sensor.
Well, it's a speed trap.
Speed trap.
I didn't make that myself,
okay.
but-
Okay, no, I get it, because on the racetrack, yeah, speed trap. Because on the car, the other was like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, so.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, because they say speed traps,
Yeah.
because when they show the visual on the like practice, they actually show the corner and whatever the speed trap thing is.
So on Sunday the 19th, where is the next race going to be held?
Vegas.
Yeah, whoop.
Vegas, because it's the day after my birthday.
No, oh, nice. And that's the first time in Vegas, right?
Yes.
And it's going to be on the strip, right? Which
Yep.
was going to be wicked. Like, that's just going to be so
I don't know how that race is going to go.
No.
I cannot lie.
It's just going to be a cool experience. If anyone's watching, like, they're really lucky. Like, they're just going to be on the strip
I
watching.
just pray that they don't do like the intros like they've done in Miami. That was awkward.
And in which country is the Circuit des Short.
Spa. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Belgium.
Yeah. Yeah. Pronunciation.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So Spa, Francorchamps, something like that.
And which circuit is located in the heart of Austria?
Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, see, that's it. You're on the roll.
Okay. I'm confident for now.
What is the name of the device that's used to control the F1 car's suspension?
Controls the F1 car suspension.
Yeah.
There's two terms I'm thinking of that controls the suspension. It's the ride height. That controls the camber. Controls the suspension. Active suspension.
Yeah, it's like well, they've got it here, suspension control unit. So yeah, it's very. See, I didn't get these questions. I just found them online. So
Suspension control.
I mean, I don't know where
These questions.
Yeah,
Answers.
I didn't make these things.
Like the only thing I think that controls suspension is active suspension, because like in the olden cars when it was like Williams, they actually had a physical remote control. They'd flick a button and the suspension would just go up and down.
Ah, okay.
So that's what I thought. Like, active suspension.
So what is the primary color of the Mercedes team?
Either well, this year they've gone black,
Okay.
and last year they did, and normally they're silver.
Yeah.
Silver arrows.
Yeah, silver. Yeah.
Yeah, silver arrows. Yeah.
And last one, another color.
Great.
No, this might be easy, but
I hope so.
what's the primary color of Ferrari team?
Red.
Yeah.
or they call it like Rosso red, whatever.
But
whatever
yeah.
Italian red it is.
Basically red, right?
Yeah, but yeah, red.
Well, thank you so much for
No worries.
coming
Thank you, Brad, as well.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the show, and
No problem.
like best of luck for
Thank you.
your future ahead, and you make some waves in that F1. F1.
I believe so. You gotta believe it to make it happen. So you'll believe it'll happen.
Yep, fingers crossed.
Yes.
Yep, that's a wrap, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.